Picture a civilization that built towering pyramids, mastered astronomy, and created the America's most advanced writing system. Then imagine it vanishing. The Maya Empire's mysterious disappearance has puzzled experts for centuries. Let's uncover this ancient mystery together. The Maya story begins around 2000 BCE, when small farming communities started taking root in Central America. These early settlements gradually grew into something extraordinary. By 750 BCE, these farmers were building impressive ceremonial centers with large platforms and plazas. As their agricultural skills improved, especially with corn cultivation, populations expanded rapidly. Villages transformed into cities, complete with massive temples, royal palaces, and bustling marketplaces. Cities like Tikal and Palenque emerged as powerful centers, home to tens of thousands of people. The Maya developed a complex social structure, with kings ruling as living connections to the gods, while merchants, artisans, and farmers formed the backbone of their thriving society. The Maya civilization was remarkable in how they organized their daily lives. Their cities buzzed with activity, farmers tending to corn, beans, and squash in raised fields, craftspeople creating colorful textiles and pottery in busy workshops, and merchants trading goods in crowded marketplaces. Children would learn their family trades while also attending schools where they studied writing, mathematics, and astronomy. The Maya took great pride in their appearance, with both men and women adorning themselves with jewelry, elaborate hairstyles, and even intentionally crossed eyes and flattened foreheads, which they considered beautiful. They loved sports, especially their famous ball game where players had to hit a rubber ball through stone hoops using only their hips. This wasn't just any game, it had deep religious meaning and sometimes ended in human sacrifice. The Maya created something truly remarkable, a complete writing system using detailed hieroglyphs, making them the only ancient American civilization with fully readable text. Their books, called codices, covered everything from astronomy to religious rituals. But that's not all. They were also mathematical geniuses. They invented the concept of 0 centuries before it appeared in Europe, and used a base 20 number system that helped them make incredibly accurate astronomical calculations. Maya scribes were highly respected, spending years learning to read and write these complex symbols. They recorded their history, myths, and scientific observations on temple walls, pottery, and bark paper books. While Spanish conquistadors destroyed most of these books, the surviving texts still help us understand their remarkable achievements. At the heart of Maya power were their kings, known as Kuhul Ajau, or Holy Lords, who ruled their city-states like living gods. These rulers lived in elaborate palaces and led both political and religious life. A Maya king's power wasn't just about giving orders. They had to prove themselves through successful wars, building projects, and religious ceremonies. Each city-state was like its own small kingdom, connected to others through a complex web of alliances, trade, and sometimes warfare. Kings would strengthen their positions by arranging marriages between royal families, trading luxury goods like jade and cacao, and forming military partnerships. They also commissioned massive building projects, including temples and monuments, which served both to honor the gods and showcase their power. The Maya didn't just build great cities, they created one of history's most impressive trade networks. Merchants traveled hundreds of miles along well-maintained trade routes, carrying everything from everyday salt to precious jade. Imagine marketplaces full of exotic goods, bright feathers from tropical birds, shimmering obsidian blades, cacao beans used as currency, and shells from distant seas. Cities like Tikal became wealthy trading hubs, where merchants from across Mesoamerica would gather to exchange goods. The Maya used sophisticated canoe routes along rivers and coastal waters, while porters carried heavy loads on foot through jungle paths. They even developed standardized weights and measures to make trading fair and efficient. This complex trading system helped spread not just goods, but also ideas and cultural practices throughout their territory. Around 750 CE, the first signs of trouble began to appear in the mighty Maya civilization. Despite their achievements, they faced growing challenges. Population growth was straining their farming systems. Even their advanced agricultural methods couldn't keep up with demand. Climate records show periods of severe drought hitting the region. At the same time, competition between city-states intensified, leading to more frequent and destructive wars. Archaeological evidence reveals that some cities began building more defensive walls while others show signs of declining construction projects. Trade routes that once brought prosperity became less secure. Common people felt the pressure first. We see evidence of malnutrition in skeletal remains from this period. These combined pressures would eventually push this remarkable civilization toward a breaking point. The Mayas' greatest challenge came from an unexpected source: the sky itself. Between 800 and 900 CE, a series of devastating droughts hit the Maya heartland. Scientific analysis of lake sediments and cave deposits tells us these weren't just typical dry spells. They were some of the worst droughts in 7,000 years. The Mayas' carefully balanced agricultural system, which fed millions, began to fail. Their reservoirs and water collection systems, once marvels of engineering, couldn't cope with such extreme conditions. Crops withered in the fields and food became scarce. This environmental crisis hit the southern lowland cities particularly hard, where dense populations relied heavily on regular rainfall. The drought triggered a domino effect. Food shortages led to social unrest, which in turn disrupted trade and weakened political authority. As resources became scarce, the Maya civilization faced another devastating challenge: increased warfare between city-states. Archaeological evidence shows a sharp rise in conflicts around 800 CE, with cities building more fortifications and weapons. Kings, desperate to maintain power and access to dwindling resources, launched military campaigns against neighboring cities. These weren't just small skirmishes. They were full-scale wars that drained resources, disrupted trade routes, and destroyed vital farmland. Inscriptions from this period tell stories of captured rulers, burned cities, and massive battles. Cities like Tikal and Calakmul, once centers of culture and commerce, became locked in destructive conflicts. The constant warfare made it impossible to maintain the complex trade networks and agricultural systems that had supported Maya civilization for centuries. By 900 CE, the magnificent Maya cities began experiencing a remarkable transformation, but not the kind their builders had envisioned. Archaeological evidence shows people leaving these urban centers in waves, not all at once, but steadily over time. The once bustling marketplaces grew quiet, temples stopped receiving their regular maintenance, and royal palaces were gradually abandoned. But where did everyone go? Research suggests many Maya people moved north toward the Yucatan Peninsula, where cities like Chichen Itza were still thriving. Others returned to simpler living in small villages, surviving through basic farming and local trade. The Maya didn't disappear, they adapted. Their descendants continue to live in the region today, maintaining many ancient traditions. This wasn't a sudden collapse, but rather a complex process of reorganization that changed the face of Maya civilization forever. While the great Maya cities fell silent, their civilization never truly disappeared. Today, over 7 million Maya people keep their ancestral culture alive through language, traditions, and customs. Some Maya communities still practice ancient farming techniques that helped their ancestors thrive for centuries. Their calendar system, though no longer predicting apocalypses, continues to influence modern understanding of astronomy. The Mayas' architectural and mathematical achievements inspire engineers and scientists, while their sustainable farming methods offer valuable lessons for modern agriculture. Their story teaches us important lessons about environmental management, social resilience, and the complex ways civilizations adapt to challenges. The Maya remind us that a civilization's true legacy lies not just in its monuments, but in the living culture it passes down through generations. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the fascinating Maya civilization. Their story reminds us how even great societies face challenges and adapt. If you enjoyed learning about the Maya, hit like, subscribe, and share with fellow history enthusiasts.